In this video, we go hands-on with the top new features for the iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 11 Pro Max. Check it out. 9to5Mac on YouTube is sponsored by Loveit, makers of premium cases and accessories for iPhone 11 and 11 Pro, such as the Clear Grip case, featuring a full coverage crystal clear exterior that's super easy to grip, with cushioned corners and raised lips on the front and back of the case, and easily pressable buttons. If you're looking for something more simple, there's the Clear View case. It too gives you great protection and a simple design. And if you're looking for something extra tough, there's the Ultra Armor case, along with Proof Tech and Liquid Nano collections. Loveit also offers super durable tempered glass screen protectors that are super easy to install. And there's Liquid Nano, a cutting-edge liquid screen glass protector. Click the link in the description and get 10% off with code LOVE9to5Mac. How's it going, guys? Jeff Benjamin with 9to5Mac. Here we are, the iPhone 11 Pro. Now, we already went through the top features for the iPhone 11. Now we get to consider the Pro prior to our full review, which should be dropping anytime now, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching 9to5Mac. Be sure to thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and then enable notifications with the bell icon so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Alright, ladies and gents, I have right here in the flesh the iPhone 11 Pro. Of course, I did get it in midnight green because what would an iPhone 11 Pro video be without midnight green? Of course, we have it here. So let's go ahead and get it unboxed. We'll just take the wrapper off like that, and we'll just lift the box up like this. Slowly, there we go. To reveal all that midnight green goodness, we'll just slide the phone out of the package. And let's see what's underneath here. Obviously, we do have our Design by Apple in California packet, which is going to include all of our getting started material. We have a pair of earpods, and these are the fancy earpods with the built-in inline remote control. So just in case you're wondering, yes, that is still a thing. And then we have, what is this? This is a Lightning to USB Type-C cable? So yeah, that's the difference between the iPhone 11 baseline model and the iPhone 11 Pro, but you also get an 18-watt fast charger in the box. So although the iPhone 11 baseline model is capable of fast charging, it still comes with that puny 5-watt power adapter, but at least Apple was decent enough to give us an 18-watt adapter with our $1,000 plus phone, so that is nice. All right, so let's scope out what's inside the Design by Apple in California packet. You have your getting started guide at first. So that basically just walks you through some of the very fundamental things about your phone. And then you have a SIM eject tool, and you also have your regulatory information sheet, which is super boring. Let's just move on. And you have your Apple stickers, of course. That's what we've been looking for right there. Thumbs up for the two lovely Apple stickers. Now, let's discuss one of the most obvious new features, the midnight green colorway found on the iPhone 11 Pro. Now, what's interesting about midnight green is that this is the first time that we've ever seen this color on an iPhone. And although there was a rumor circulating that there would be a new green color, I don't think anyone actually took that as serious. I think this sort of came out of left field, and everyone was really surprised once Apple announced that there would be a midnight green colorway for the iPhone 11 Pro. And I have to say, I like it. It does sort of look like space gray in certain lights. In other light, it looks like green. To be honest with you, I wasn't sure what to expect when I got the phone. But after some usage, I can tell you that I do enjoy midnight green. I hope it sticks around in future revisions of the iPhone. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts on midnight green. So, like I said at the outset in the unboxing, we finally have a fast charger in the box of an iPhone. I didn't think it would ever happen, to be honest with you. I mean, it's been so long that we've been subjected to that 5-watt power adapter, but now, folks, we have it. I can't complain anymore, at least not on the Pro model. I can't complain because we finally have it, and we have the USB Type-C cable inside the box. So this is going to charge your iPhone up to 50% in about 30 minutes. Not bad. Now, this is one of the coolest things about the new iPhone 11 Pro. You now have a matte finish on the back of the phone, and it's sort of like frosted glass. It's hard to describe, but it almost feels like aluminum on the back. Whereas the camera module has the shiny reflective glass, so it's the inverse of the baseline iPhone 11, which has the shiny back glass and the matte camera module. So you can see them here side by side, the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro on the right. So you can see that camera module on the iPhone 11 is matte, which is the same material that Apple is using on the full back cover of the iPhone 11 Pro. And this is another iPhone first. This is the first time that we've had this matte glass material on the back of an iPhone, and it really does give a different look and a different feeling. It feels like more like an iPhone SE with an aluminum back cover than it does an iPhone XS Max, for instance, with a glass back cover. But I have to say, I do like the feeling of that matte texture on the back of the iPhone 11 Pro. It especially looks good when contrasted against that camera module and that beautiful and durable shiny stainless steel band that goes around the perimeter of the iPhone 11 Pro. Needless to say, it's an awesome looking design. The Super Retina XDR display in the iPhone 11 Pro, which is on the bottom here in these examples. By the way, that name is just absurd, but nonetheless, it is impressive technology. It can get brighter than its predecessor when out in the sun. So you're going from 650 nits max to about 800 nits max in the bright sun, like if I was in this situation here. But where it really shines is with contrast ratio. It's 2 million to 1 contrast ratio thanks to that OLED display. But when you're watching 4K HDR content, it can get as bright as 1200 nits. Now you can't actually control that manually. The screen will automatically adjust itself to reach those peak brightness levels as needed. So whether you're in bright sunlight or you're watching extreme dynamic range content, as ridiculous as the name sounds, the Super Retina XDR display means business. Now, although dark mode is an iOS 13 feature and hence is compatible with all devices that can run iOS 13, it looks especially good on the iPhone 11 Pro's Super Retina XDR OLED display with that 2 million to 1 contrast ratio. Dark mode looks good on the baseline iPhone 11, but it's made for a screen like this. If you really want to experience dark mode in the way that I think Apple intended for it to be experienced, then you're going to need an OLED display like here on the iPhone 11 Pro. And there are 8 new live wallpapers exclusive to the iPhone 11 Pro. Now you may be thinking I only see 4 of them, but remember there's dark mode, so there's a light and a dark version for each of these 4 new wallpapers, and the last time I checked, 4 times 2 equals 8. So 8 new wallpapers, you can see them right here. Here's the green one. Here's the light version, looking good. Here's the dark version of this one, sort of like purplish bluish. Here's the light version. All right, and finally, there we go, looking good. What do you guys think about these wallpapers? Which one's your favorite? Let me know down below in the comments. Up next is the A13 Bionic system on a chip. Now, obviously this chip features components that are more powerful than last year's A12, and we can confirm that via the typical Geekbench benchmark. So that's what we're gonna do right now. And I'm of course gonna speed it up a little bit so we can get through it quickly. So we're almost done here. So on the right is the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and on the left is the iPhone XS Max. So it's taking a little bit longer, but you can see the comparison between the two. Obviously, the 11 Pro Max is going to be faster. In multi-core, you can see 3542 versus 2923, and single core is faster as well. Yes, the new phone is more powerful, but that's not really what it's all about. It's really about the machine learning advances, as I'll showcase a little bit later, and the efficiency advances that contribute to much better battery life. Now, one of the cool things about the new iPhone 11 Pro is the presence of the U1 ultra wideband chip inside. Now, this gives your iPhone the ability to have spatial awareness in relation to other U1 enabled iPhones. I demonstrated this in our iPhone 11 top features video. You can see with the new AirDrop update, it's able to detect and identify another U1 enabled iPhone that's close by, and it will put it front and center in the AirDrop menu so that you can easily select it. And this is just the start. Now, I mentioned the improved battery life. There's a lot of contributing factors to that improved battery life. There's the removal of 3D touch, unfortunately, but that makes way for a bigger battery. Now, the iPhone 11 got a 1-hour battery life increase over the iPhone XR, but the iPhone 11 Pro got a 4-hour and 5-hour battery life increase over the iPhone XS and XS Max, respectively. So when Apple says the battery will last all day, it literally lasts all day. The iPhone 11 Pro also brings forth improved water resistance. The iPhone XS Max could stay submerged in up to 2 meters of water for up to 30 minutes, whereas the iPhone 11 Pro can stay submerged up to a depth of 4 meters for up to 30 minutes, so double the depth of the iPhone XS Max. Now, like I always say, I don't recommend intentionally dumping your iPhone into a body of water, no matter how deep it may be, but if you happen to drop your phone in the sink or in the toilet, chances are it's going to survive that drop. And when I first heard that Apple would be using a triple camera array on its upcoming iPhones, I was not convinced that they can make this thing look good, but I stand corrected. It looks pretty good in person, much better than those dummy mock-ups in hindsight. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have been worried because in general, Apple usually comes through with design details like this. Now, the 26mm wide-angle camera comes with the same f1.8 aperture, 12 megapixels. It's very similar to its predecessor. However, you get 100% focus pixels this time around for better low light performance, better focusing performance. Side by side, they produce very similar looking shots, but you will notice detailed differences here and there. But that's probably going to be hard to notice on a compressed YouTube video. But the major difference is this, the ultra wide camera. This is a telephoto shot. Now watch, I'm gonna pan out to a wide shot, and that's cool, but then notice this, an ultra wide shot. So good for landscape photography. So here is a telephoto shot, here's a wide shot, and I'm standing at the same exact distance. Here's an ultra wide shot. It's such a game changer to have that for outdoor photography. So telephoto, wide, and now let's go ultra wide. Let's go way back, there we go, but I'm standing at the same distance. Let's try one more. Here's a telephoto shot, here's a wide shot, and let's go back. Here's an ultra wide shot. What a difference that makes. One of the big advantages of the iPhone 11 Pro versus the iPhone 11 is that it includes a third camera, a 52mm telephoto camera on the iPhone 11 Pro. But this isn't the same camera from the iPhone XS. It features a faster, considerably faster f2.0 aperture that captures 40% more light than before. So you see the iPhone XS Max, you see the iPhone 11 Pro Max. You can see the difference there. Not only will you notice differences with shallow depth of field, but you'll also notice substantial differences when shooting in low light with the telephoto camera, and that was one of the weaknesses of the prior telephoto cameras with the f2.4 aperture. If you're a photography fanatic, the iPhone 11 Pro is the one for you. The TrueDepth camera has improved by leaps and bounds as well. Now it's a 12 megapixel sensor instead of a 7 megapixel sensor. So it's much improved resolution wise. And there's now a zoom button on the camera interface so you can zoom in or zoom out. And that's because it's a wider focal length with more pixels, so it's able to do so with digital zoom without a big loss in quality. Now the cool thing about this is that when you rotate your camera, you'll notice that it automatically transitions to the default focal length, aka zooming out, so to speak, so that you can fit all the people in your selfie in the frame. That is so cool and a brand new feature for the iPhone 11 Pro. You'll also find a redesigned camera app in iOS. So on the new iPhones, you get a whole new camera app experience. You'll notice differences right off the bat. You'll see different font for the text in the camera. You'll notice a different shutter, slightly redesigned shutter. But most importantly, you'll see the ability to switch between your 3 cameras on the iPhone 11 Pro. So by default, you have the wide angle camera, but you can switch to the telephoto or the ultra wide with just a tap. So you see those 3 buttons there. And the cool thing is that it's all seamless. It feels like you just have a zoom lens and you're switching between those lenses on the fly. But what's really remarkable is that these are 3 separate lenses, and the software is what really ties it together, as you can see here. It truly is remarkable how Apple was able to pull this off, how it was able to get the color reproduction matched up between each different camera, getting the white balance matched up. It's an understatement to say that this takes a lot of effort from a software perspective, but they pulled it off pretty good. You can even see where you can view content outside of the frame. So when I'm shooting with the telephoto lens or the wide angle lens, I can see content from the wide angle and ultra wide angle respectively. And it all matches up really well. It's very impressive. Now you also see other details for dark mode, for flash, for live photos. You also see this little chevron. If you swipe up on the new camera app, it reveals these options here. This row of options for the flash, for dark mode, live photos, for aspect ratio, for the timer, and so on. So you can go through there and make any of those adjustments right there on the fly. So I can go in and adjust live photos if I want to do that. Go in and adjust the aspect ratio. Notice square is within aspect ratio. There's no longer a standalone square shooting mode, which never made sense in the first place. You also have your filters as well. Now iOS 13 makes it so that you can even capture data outside the frame. And then in post, you can go into the Photos app edit mode and actually take advantage of that extra data that you captured outside the frame. So we'll have much more on this in upcoming tutorials. Stay tuned to 9to5Mac for more details. All right, let's talk about night mode. Here's a sort of blurry photo captured at dusk. Here's another photo captured at dusk with the flash. Now here it is with night mode enabled. It almost looks like daytime. It's crazy. All right, here it is. No night mode, no flash. Here it is with the flash. You can tell how crazy the flash makes photos look terrible. Here it is with night mode, a huge improvement. We'll have much more on night mode in upcoming videos. Now let's talk about enhanced Smart HDR, because that too has improved on the new iPhones. On the right side, you see my iPhone 11 Pro. On the left side, you see my XS Max. And in this particular photo, there's a lot of range between the highlights and the shadows. So we're gonna zoom in on the photo, first of all, on our iPhone XS Max. And you can see the detail there on the flowers. But if I go over to this flower, I don't know the name of the flower. I should know the name of the flower. Let me know if you know what the flower is. But the point is, you don't really see too much detail in the petals there. Now here on the iPhone 11 Pro, you see detail in the darks. You didn't get that detail on the iPhone XS Max. But when you zoom in on that flower, here's where you get to see the benefits. More detail in the flowers in general, but here you can see more detail in the petals for sure. So the iPhone 11 Pro's enhanced Smart HDR produces even better photos in challenging lighting situations. Now, Deep Fusion is a new image processing system enabled by the A13 Bionics neural engine. It does pixel by pixel processing of your photos, so you get better texture, better details, less noise in every part of your photos. So here, you can see on the right side, the cat's photo. If you look closely, if you pause the video, you'll be able to see more detail in the fur on this kitty, for sure. Here's another photo, here's another example. Notice the nose on the cat. You're going to see more detail here on the right with Deep Fusion enabled. Now, this is a beta feature available on the new iOS 13.2 beta, but I thought it was so important I wanted to go ahead and show you this. On the right side, you see more detail on the towel and on the sweater below. So Deep Fusion is for real. You'll notice new enhancements with portrait mode on the iPhone 11 Pro. Obviously, there's some software differences here with portrait mode. So you can, of course, switch over to this new high key light mono effect. Unfortunately, this effect doesn't work with my subject of choice here, but it gives you a monochromatic photo with a white background. Now, what's cool is that you can actually take portrait photos with the telephoto lens or the wide angle lens on the iPhone 11 Pro Max. That is really cool. So you have options there. But it doesn't stop there. With portrait mode enhancements, now you also get the ability to go in and adjust the portrait lighting in post. Now, of course, you could previously go in and adjust the aperture to adjust the background blur if you want to. You can also adjust the actual effect, but new is portrait lighting control, which allows you to adjust the position of your light using this handy little slider tool. And on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, all 4 video cameras shoot 4K at 60 frames per second. So that includes the telephoto lens. It also includes the wide angle lens. It also includes the ultra wide lens, and even the TrueDepth camera shoots 4K at 60 frames per second, although the quality is nowhere near as good as it is on the rear facing cameras. And then there's the new audio zoom feature, which is kind of self-explanatory. So when you zoom in, the audio zooms along with it. Here's another example. Pretty interesting feature for video shooters, don't you think? And speaking of video, there's now Quick Take Video, which allows you to shoot video directly from photo mode without having to switch over to video mode, which wastes time. If you need to capture a video really quickly, all you need to do is press and hold on the shutter button like this, and you can see it's starting to record that video directly from photo mode. Now, the downside is that you have reduced resolution. You're capped at 30 frames per second, so obviously don't shoot video in Quick Take when you know you want to take a video. Now here's another thing, if you swipe over while holding the shutter button, when taking a quick take video, it will lock in place and it will continue recording that video. And you can also snap photos during the video shoot, and you can stop the video just by hitting the stop button. Also, if you want to do burst mode, you simply swipe over to the left like that. And of course, there is SloMo mode for the front-facing camera on the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. So we'll just toss this rag up in the air and then we'll slow it down. So here's what it looks like. So this will be especially effective for actual selfies and not just a rag being thrown in the air. But this gives a good demonstration of what the mode is capable of doing. Now, 4K cinematic video stabilization is now available at 60 frames per second on the iPhone 11 Pro. So you can see the difference side by side there. There's no competition. The iPhone 11 Pro yields much smoother 4K 60 frames per second video. And the new iPhone 11 Pro also provides you with extended dynamic range when shooting video at 4K 60. So you can see the difference between the two. The iPhone 11 Pro Max, better dynamic range on the left compared to the iPhone XS Max. So ladies and gentlemen, that has been a look at the top features for the iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 11 Pro Max. What's your favorite new feature? Let me know down below in the comment section and stay tuned for the full review. Extra special thanks to Loveit, sponsor of 9 to 5 Mac on YouTube. They make all sorts of cases for the iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro. If you're looking to protect your new iPhone, then it only makes sense to check out Loveit. Click the link in the description and use code LOVE9to5Mac for 10% off.